Welcome back to Artist and Author Show. I am not Carol Love Forbes, the usual host. I'm sitting in for her today, and we're glad you're here. This show's on every week. If you're an author or you're an artist or a musician or you do something creative, we'd love to have you on the show. And I mean, it could be nail art, tattoo art, of course, the traditional arts. We love that too. We had somebody on yesterday that does donut art, any kind of art, any kind of creative thing. We have a spot for you, especially though if your creativity is in print. We want authors, we want screenwrites, and you don't have to be a published author. We like to talk to people about the process and the struggle they go through to get published. Now our next guest, not only can he start writing a book, but he does that very rare thing. He finished writing a book, several books. Our guest is Dr. Allan Hedberg.
Yes.
And Dr. Hedberg hosts a show here every Saturday at
10 o'clock in the morning,
10
every
a.m.
Saturday morning, on Dr. Teach Me to Parent.
Dr.
Actually.
Teach Me to Parent. Now, I watch this show. My kids are raised, but I'm still parenting them.
You never cease being a parent.
Never stop.
Never.
Yeah. Although it's switching a little bit. They're taking more of
well.
the leadership role for me. But things he's taught me, I wish I could have watched the show when I was just beginning to be a parent. But there's lessons. If you know anybody who's about to be a parent or is a parent, I really urge you to watch the show. It's mostly common sense stuff. There's no giant magical thing, but sometimes it takes us a lifetime to learn common sense.
Well, it does, but, we eventually learn it.
Yeah.
And then apply it, and we benefit,
Yeah.
from it.
Now, if somebody can't get up at 10 a.m. or they're busy at 10 a.m. Saturdays, where else can they see your show?
Well, they can catch that on the YouTube under Dr. Teach Me to Parent.
Perfect.
And obviously it's on your YouTube channel as well, Central Valley Talk.
Yeah.
So either of those two channels would be the place to pick it up, and you can pick it up at their leisure. And actually, the program, Dr. Teach Me to Parent, is really a teaching program to help parents really become effective parents. I mean, just as what the title says. And so I always think of it as this is an opportunity to improve your skills as a parent.
Right. Everybody can improve.
That's right.
That's right. And it's these little things sometimes. I go, I should have known that. So now, we're talking then, you're going to have another, a new show. Say the name and we'll talk about it then.
Yeah, we're going to have a new show now starting next month in February called Men to Boys, or Boys to Men.
Boys to Men. I want to
Boys
get into
to
that.
Men.
But first, you're here about a book.
That's right. That's
New
right.
book.
We'll
By
come
the way,
back to that. But
which book number is this?
well, it's going on 14 now.
14 books, okay.
And I have two more in the works that are coming pretty soon. But this one I'm kind of pleased with. It's called Deep Roots.
Deep Roots. Okay.
And Deep Roots is a kind of a nice little book to kind of help us think about history. Mm-hmm. And you're interested in history.
Very much so.
But the history through the eyes of people. I picked up this book and started it this way. I read the Creed of John B. Rockefeller. And that creed really impressed me as being a very basic and a very important creed that everybody should know. Let me just give you a couple ideas that Rockefeller said. This is his creed. I believe in the supreme worth of the individual and his right to liberty and the pursuit of happiness. Not too bad, right?
Yeah. That's
I
great.
believe that the law was made for man and not man for the law. That government is a servant of the people and not their master. Then he goes on to say, I believe that truth and justice are fundamental to an enduring social order. And he goes on, he has about 10 of these creeds. Mm-hmm. And I thought, that's pretty good. So I read them and I reread them and said, that would be worth looking at. So what I did then is I started looking at other people to see what creeds they came up with and how they lived. And I came up with a whole bunch of people. Here's Mother Teresa.
Okay.
She says this, spread love everywhere you go. Let no one ever come to you without leaving happier. She goes on, if you can't feed 100 people, then just feed one. And she goes on with about 10 of these kind of statements. This is her creed to live by. So I pulled together about 150 of these.
What do you live by? That's what a creed is.
What do you live by? So my subtitle of the Deep Roots is really what's important. It's a book of historical and inspiring creeds, oaths, mottos, rules, pledges, and wise advice by which to live. And I think we need to go back into history, Mike, and learn from our former friends and people that raised us and raised our parents and raised our grandparents, and learn how to live better. Learn how to live with higher quality. Learn how to live with a greater sense of sensitivity to other people, and to learn how to be kindly, in our relationships with others. And that's what this book is all about. How can you live better, but using the advice coming from people in the past?
You've already done it.
You know, we used to say these are the people that we stand on their shoulders and we can see further because of them. That's what this book is all about.
Well, I tell you, I've been trying to work out the words for my creed for a couple of years now. And what it is I wake up every day seeking the answers.
Yes.
And I meet people every day who know all the answers about everything. And I try to start each day looking and seeking and trying to figure
Might be a nice little thing. You wake up in the morning and read one of these creeds.
That would be great, yeah.
You know, it's only about that long, and maybe 5, 10 sentences, and just kind of a thought for the day and give you a kind of a push, you know, for the day in the right direction. Yeah. Be sensitive, be considerate, be caring, be thoughtful, you know, in many different words. And I go on to all different kinds of people historically that have come up with ideas of life and how to live a quality life. So it's all there. It's a nice little book that would give you a sense of direction.
And you know, as you know, I read and read and read
every
day, lots and lots. But this is a great book for people who maybe don't want to read and read and read. They just every day read a little bit. Yeah,
there are a lot of people that do that. A lot of people just read a little verse of some kind, a little piece of poetry of some kind. This is a little verse, a little creed, it takes you, what, 2 minutes at the most, 1 minute. But it's thought for the day.
Yeah.
And that's all day.
Thought for the day. Let it soak in all day. I love that.
That's
I love
right.
that idea.
Yeah.
Now,
so I had fun writing it.
Yeah.
I had fun reading each of these creeds and kind of reflecting on them. I didn't comment. I didn't make a comment about them. I just put the creeds there, and the comment is yours. Because what a creed means to you may be different to me.
Right.
And what is important is what that creed means to you as you move your life forward, not what it really means to me.
Right. Now, let's say somebody's watching and says, wow, I need to get that book. Or better yet, get it to give to somebody.
That's right.
Where should they start? How do they find it?
Well, of course, it's going to be on Amazon.
Okay.
It's being printed by Serendipity Press Media. It's a local press here in Fresno area. Gina Myers is the head of that. And she's printing it. She's publishing it. She's producing it for me. It's right now today in the printer. So within a week it will be out. You can get it on Amazon as well, but you can also get it through my office.
Okay.
If you just call my office at 244-3260.
That's pretty easy.
And we'll just make a list of people that have called in, and we'll send you out a book, and it'll be a great little thing for you to have. But you can get it on Amazon as well, and then Serendipity Media has their own website, and you can get it on that as well.
Okay. Do you find a lot of people, I buy something on Amazon every day. Not that many books anymore, but it's so easy now. Just click, click, click.
That's right. I have it all set up myself, and as I pick up the books for myself,
Now, what about, do you have a website?
I have a website,
and would this be on the website?
booksbyhedberg.com, and you can just access that directly. Booksbyhedberg.com.
Yeah.
And that's my website, and it's listed in there as well, as long as many of my other books. You're listed there, and some of the other things that I'm doing and involved in. I have a blog that's there, and you can pick that up as well. Booksbyhedberg.com.
Can they order the books there?
Yes.
They go right to the...
yes.
By the way, I've already memorized the website, booksbyhedberg.com, and pretty easy website.
Well, all the books are listed there, so that's why that's kind of a nice little place to go. But you can get it on Amazon, and depending on the topic and the book that you're interested in.
There you
go. I encourage you to pick up a book, and it's good reading, and it's just good for you to kind of have a way of having a start in the morning. It's kind of like having psychotherapy in the morning, just for about a minute, giving your thoughts and giving your direction of what would be helpful to you today, and to live your life today at a higher quality of life than you lived yesterday or a year ago.
Well, I love the historical perspective of it. I want to see the historical perspective of looking back, especially successful people who lived by a creed. I like that.
If you can find people in your life that have been successful, they don't have to be famous people. These are generally pretty famous people, but they don't have to be. They can just be somebody that you know and that you admire and that you appreciate. Just look at their life. Live their life as they live their life. Imitate them. Follow their example.
I call it modeling. Have you heard that?
It's modeling.
Modeling, okay.
It's imitation and modeling, and that's why you change your own life and improve your own life.
Right.
We use it all the time in therapy, as they teach people how to find somebody in their life that they can look to and model their life after.
Right.
And then after a while, you kind of develop your own life. And your own style of living. You don't have to just depend upon,
Right.
the people that you know or are in your life every day.
Right. I did the same thing without knowing it. I never got to have therapy or anything in my life, but I noticed this guy that I admired, and he got up early, got dressed, and hit the ground running. And I said, wow, what a difference he makes. He has a
right.
couple extra hours on each end of the
That's
day.
right.
And I modeled after that person. It really helped me a lot.
I had a Boy Scout leader
Uh-huh.
when I was a kid, and I still to this day recall him and his lifestyle, and I often think, now what would he say or what would he do? And that was 50 years ago, 60 years ago. So, that's a way to kind of use people in your life, in your own life, as a model for your future living.
Right. Now, I know we're out of time, but I want to ask you a couple things about the new show.
Yes.
We're working out the times. It's going to be on Wednesday or Thursday in the afternoon, I think.
Yes, we're going to do it in the afternoon.
And tell us about it.
Well, it's going to be about a 40-minute show entitled Boys to Men. I always get that mixed up. Boys to Men. And I'm going to really focus on the father and what the father can do in his parenting of a child to bring his boy up to a standard of manhood and to become a successful citizen, a successful student, a successful businessman, whatever. But how can a father be effective in his parenting of his own son or sons? So the emphasis will be on fathers, although it'll be helpful to mothers as well. So I want them both to be watching, but I'm really going to be focusing on fathers and how fathers can help their boy turn into a really effective and a positive and competent young man.
Okay. Tell me the thing I've heard you say a couple times, saying one criticism to your kid takes so many, erase that.
Oh, yes. The idea that when you criticize a kid, and parents do this all the time, a kid gets withdrawn, and a kid moves away from you, actually, and now becomes afraid of you. So you want to redo that. You want to rebuild that relationship. But you just don't rebuild it by one compliment or by letting a day go by. You got to rebuild that by having at least 4 compliments to every criticism you give a child. And for some kids, you need 6 compliments to every criticism that you give a child. So you have to kind of remember that when you do something negative like that, like criticism, that really marks deeply into the life of a child, boys particularly, and they'll move away from you. So to rebuild relationships, you got to work at it. You got to really devote yourself to looking for ways now to compliment and rebuild that relationship.
I think in terms of capital, if you spend that capital,
there you are.
How do you earn it back?
There you are. It's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
Anyway, I enjoy the heck out of Dr. Hedberg and his shows. Saturdays at 10 a.m. It's Doctor Teach Me to Parent, and the new show is going to be Boys to Men.
Boys to Men.
Go to Amazon or wherever you buy books and buy the book.
Deep Roots.
Let's put it on the screen again. Deep Roots, and it's historical, and it's
this can really help you live your life differently from now on. It could be life changing. It's not that it's what I wrote. It's what I compiled of what other people have written about their lives and about what they think and how they have lived their life effectively. So we're learning through others. You're learning through me the life of others and the lessons from others. And that's a good lesson in itself. Always learn from other people around you. Have people around you that teach. Have a life that teaches, a life that encourages, a life that directs, and follow their life.
Well, if you're watching, go to Books by Hedberg. It always starts at www.enswith.com. Books by Hedberg. I'm going to give you his private phone number if you don't mind. 559-244-3250.
3260.
3260.
3260.
559-244-3260. Or go to Amazon and find Deep Roots by Dr. Hedberg.
And I have a lot of other books there as well on parenting and depression and health. Yeah.
If you really can't find them, call me at Central Valley Talk. I'll put you right in touch with Dr. Hedberg.
That'd be good too, yes.
We'll be back with more authors and artists right after this.
Thank you.